Every wisdom tradition teaches the same truth. The sacred is hidden in the ordinary. There's this story about the Zen master and a student. The Zen student says, before enlightenment, what happens before enlightenment? And the Zen master says, chopping wood, carrying water. Then the Zen student says, okay, well, what happens after enlightenment? And the Zen master says, chopping wood and carry water. And that's what I realized on my journey. Like, I felt different, but things just got simpler. There was not this dramatic overhaul. And so it's not that dramatic moments don't matter. It's that they're not where the transformation actually lives. They're where transformation actually gets revealed after it's already been happening in sort of the quiet spaces between the thoughts and the small choices where nobody else sees. So real change often feels like a relief, like you're finally doing something that makes sense, not dramatic, but it just feels like you. It's true to you. Thank you all for being here tonight. Hopefully this all is making sense. And I hope that it inspires you by the end to get moving, right? Even if it's so tiny. All right. So while you've been waiting for that big moment, a lot of us are waiting for that time, 3 years from now, 4 years from now. If you have a plan, that's different, right? Let's say, I plan to quit my job in 2 years. These are the things that I have set up. Cool. But if there's no plan behind it, then we're just kind of like waiting for like something to just say, hey, it is time. And so while you're waiting for that big moment, your authentic self has been speaking to you every single day, not with like loud fireworks or anything like that, but with gentle nudges that, again, you might have overlooked. And so those moments, they feel really small, maybe even invisible, but they follow what scientists call the compound effect. There's a book I read a long time ago called The Compound Effect. I forget who it was about, but that's when I started to look at my life through compound interest, not just from like a financial standpoint, but just from like the daily things that you do, the daily deposits that you do that over time, even if it's so small, that if you think about like if I drop a single drop of water in a cup over time, that cup is going to fill. When we think of our lives in the compound effect, it actually shifts how we approach things. Sade said, this feels like it was meant for me. Well, I'm glad that you're here. Here's another story that I actually came across recently. It's about the bamboo farmer. This is something I didn't even know about, but bamboo farmers, they actually water the ground for like 4 years. They're just watering an empty ground. Nothing visible happens, nothing grows. Then in year five, 90 feet of growth in 6 weeks. So the miracle wasn't those 6 weeks, right? The miracle was the invisible root system spreading in the dark, a network of connection and strength that made the visible growth possible. That's what's been happening while you've been waiting. You've been building infrastructure that you can't fully see. This is why it's important to have a bit of trust in yourself and the divine, whatever that is to you, because things are working in ways that you can't fully see yet. And just trust, as long as you're, making the steps, that you will enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your authentic self isn't waiting for some perfect moment to reveal itself. It's been offering you micro revelations all along. Maybe it's the way that your body relaxes when you imagine, wow, just saying no to that thing that you want to say no to, or how your energy shifts when you consider a different possibility, right? Maybe it's, preferring a window seat on the train because you just like watching the world go by. So simple things. Or maybe choosing tea over coffee because it just feels nicer to you. Or taking a long way home because it's scenic and the beauty matters to you more than efficiency. So these aren't trivial preferences, they're intelligence. They're your own internal navigation system trying to guide you toward what serves you, your deepest knowing. And when you honor those small, tiny impulses, you're sending a message to your nervous system that says, hey, I'm listening now. Like, you can speak up. I want to hear what you have to say. And gradually, the quiet voice gets stronger. I actually was talking to my intuitive guide yesterday. And one of the things that came out of that conversation, like even all the questions I had, came back full circle to one thing. How do you appreciate those small moments and savor them? Because the more that you do that, the more present that you are. And the more present that you are, the more clarity that you get. And the easier, even with difficult decisions, that clarity gives you direction, and it allows you to be able to make decisions that feel more in tune because you can actually feel what your body is saying. So It always goes back to that simplicity. Instead of waiting for maybe the life-changing decision, you start practicing what I call truthful choosing. In each small moment, ask yourself, what would feel most honest for me right now? Like, what would be the most authentic thing to do? Not the most practical, not the most responsible, okay? Not what others would do, but what feels true to you. And then create what psychologists call an implementation intention. Instead of relying on willpower in the moment, you make the choice when you're clear and motivated. So for example, if I feel the urge to say no plans, then I'll just honor that impulse. There is like when you're facing a decision, there is that small window where your body says yes or no, right? It says yes or no. And we have those impulses. And so it's allowing that intuitive impulse to just sort of guide us. Or maybe if you notice that you're scrolling to avoid something, then just pause and ask, okay, what am I actually avoiding? Like these regular check-ins with yourself give you feedback and it allows you to get more present. And with that information, you're able to, make the moves that resonate with you the most.